thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Was Bud Light commercial.
That really took me back there.
Welcome, everyone, for episode 403 of the Massenomics podcast. We are proudly dubbed as the lifting podcast about nothing, recorded live from western, northeast South Dakota and southeast South Dakota. Is it eastern, southeast South Dakota?
There you go.
Missed it east. Eastern, southeast South Dakota, a couple of the corners-ish of the state, this great state of ours, and we're here for episode 403. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy. And twins. Remember that one?
More Bud Light.
I think that was Miller Lite, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Was it the Miller Lite?
They're always twin like that.
And the twins.
Hilarious to think of that commercial.
Love football on TV, hanging with the dudes and twins.
Let's just make a list of the most stereotypical things we can say that guys do.
What beer was that?
I'm pretty sure it was Miller Lite, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was. I definitely not seen that commercial in 20 years.
And the twins. Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably pretty meme worthy if we look that commercial back up.
That's true. That's true. I always liked the Bud Light ones where they're just screaming noise. It just gets like progressively less sense, where it's just more screaming noises.
Scary Movie did that, too.
Right. Yeah. We've got a doozy scheduled for episode 403. This episode is the Christmas special. As a matter of fact, this episode comes out Christmas Day.
I'm feeling festive.
We hope that you're all spending this with the people that are most important with your life. Most important in your life, the Massenomics.
Well, I can just picture it. Everyone's huddling their family around the fireplace to listen to this right now.
Yes, I assume everyone's listening to this while they open presents Christmas morning.
Stop. You can't open that until we get the Massenomics podcast on. It's our Christmas tradition.
Yeah, I mean, and what I think the issue, what's wrong with the world, probably America specifically right now, not to get too political, but people, they get worried about the wrong things for Christmas. It's so commercialized. They think it's all presents, gifts, and money. That's not what Christmas is about. What Christmas has always been about, at least for the last 8 years, is Massenomics.
In my family, that goes without saying. People just know that. I don't got to remind them what the season's for.
Right. It's the season of giving to Massenomics.
The reason for the season.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind while you're sitting there at home with your family. Don't forget about Massenomics. Don't put us off till Tuesday this week.
No,
and maybe
if you really want people to feel really festive, put on the Keith has it for us here, the original Coors Light and Twins commercial.
And the twins.
Wasn't one? I love playing two-hand touch, eating way too much, and twins.
That does sound right, yeah.
What guys like, I love playing two-hand touch.
I don't think adult men play random games of two-hand touch.
No, I don't think so. Unless you're in that Brett Favre commercial for your Wrangler jeans, then you do.
Isn't that a fun distinction, though? Like when you play touch football, as a kid, it's well, wait, though, is this one-hand touch or two-hand touch?
Yes,
is it important? Be like, no, this is one-hand touch.
Mm-hmm.
The number of hands that need to be touching really can play favoritism or not to the offense. Because if it requires a two-hand touch, that's really going to open up the game a lot more. Because extending those hands equally really is a lot more challenging than getting just one arm out there.
Get those speedy kids on your team, and good luck.
It'll be off to the races in a two-hand touch game.
Mm-hmm.
That is it has to that's a universal language too, and maybe not universal everywhere, but at least like growing up in America, I feel like if you were a boy, like it's like, oh no, is this one hand touch or two hand touch?
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it was for sure.
Yeah. which is kind of odd to me. Like it's just funny that it's like
Gotta have those rules. We people know us how we feel about having rules specified. You know, you don't want there to be any interpretation when it comes to the rules. What
I enjoyed the most, though, I don't know if what your school is like, but in the winter, this is a northern exposure type thing. But when you have snow, which covering your playground and your play area everywhere you go, and you had the right teachers, you're actually allowed to play tackle football outside. And we didn't get to do it all the time, but we got to sometimes, and that was a real treat.
Yeah.
We'd just be like salivating to be able to play tackle football.
Tackle was never really allowed for us, but you definitely had a little more leeway in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It was like, well, we can kind of throw each other around here, and it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they'd let us play full-on tackle football sometimes.
No, we never had just full-on tackle. That was never a thing for us.
Funny because it's so dangerous. You know, like, you know, and for anyone that doesn't picture what I'm saying is little kids, fifth graders, fourth graders, third graders at recess, not wearing helmets. You're wearing snow pants and a coat and mittens and a hat, and you get to play full tackle football. But the thing being the snow is forgiving, but not very, and not after it's been played on. You know, it's like it's basically
whatever ice or rocks are hiding underneath it just cancels out whatever was there.
Yeah. Tackle football when you're a little kid is just a blast, though.
I loved tackle football when I was a little kid. I thought that was
yeah,
the best
we would just go nuts for it. It'd be like, oh, F yeah, we're going full on tackle, baby.
Yeah. And then everyone's telling everyone to suck it and everything.
Yeah.
Like
it was
out on the playground.
Ours was absolutely more conducive for fights, though, too. There's something about when you get to full on smash people that it's like, no, there's probably going to be fights involved in this.
That's when
because
people get heated because it was too hard or whatever. You know, like everyone always feels like they're having cheap shots
wronged
taken
in some way. Right. Yeah, that's recess, though. That's being a kid.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. You know what else it's all about? It's all about, I'm going to play ad roulette. Let's see. It's all about the Strength Co. Before I tell that I heard this interesting statistic. It said that anyone that, when you're listening, whatever podcast app you listen to, if when ads come on and you hit the skip ahead button, if you're someone that does that consistently, you're like 5 times more likely to contract cancer. So do not do that when we're reading ads, at least not on the Massenomics podcast. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's just a little
bad mojo.
Tip. Yeah. So this week's episode is brought to you by the Strength Co. The Strength Co. would like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas this year. And by doing so, they also want to tell you about their American-made Olympic iron plates and barbells that they have, and now bumper plates, also made in America. They have their Olympic iron plates are made in basically every size that you'd buy a plate, all the way from the Hondus, of course, the 45s, 35s, 25s, 10s, 5s, 2.5s, 1 1/4. You can buy them all at the Strength Co. They're, I would say, very affordable for what you're getting. You're getting the premium, high-end iron plates, kind of the best on the market, the best you can get at a very reasonable price. So make sure to check them out at thestrength.co. Also check out, if you're looking for one other little thing, check out their collars. Their barbell collars are a very unique thing that we've talked about a few times. So make sure to check out their collars when you're on the site. Thank you, the Strength Co.
Today's episode is also brought to you by SwissLink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded SwissLink with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items from military forces around the world. We're talking things like Swiss bayonets, Czech microscopes, some type of crazy gas mask from a country you've never heard of. SwissLink.com is also home to the SwissLink Classic Wool Blankets. They're an ideal mix of 80% wool and 20% recycled fibers. It's that special blend that provides a soft, luxurious feel while maintaining all the benefits of wool. SwissLink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the rest. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at SwissLink.com by entering code MASS at checkout. That's MASS at Swisslink.com. It'll save you 15%. Thank you, Swisslink. Tanner, when I was reading that ad, I got these ads down in my brain so good I can just put my mouth on autopilot and my brain can do all types of free thinking. I just remembered something that I wanted to tell you about, an interesting post, something from the podcast that it just cracks me up. It feels like it's the most stereotypical thing. Okay, what I'm talking about is you had made, I believe it was a reel of asking Big Steve DeNovi about if he thinks that the top level people are drug free or not. Yeah. And I don't think that's a loaded question, a dumb question. I thought it was an appropriate question and a good question to ask Steve. Like that's a guy that's a guy that's in there. And I feel like we have enough rapport built up with Steve, and he's enough of a big boy. He's enough of an adult that he can answer the question honestly how he would. Right. And I think he would feel comfortable answering that question for us. And he answered it great. I thought he gave a great response. And you put that on Instagram. Steve basically said, like, I think that the guys at the top level are clean. He goes, if anything, it's what countries are cheating. The answer he seemed to give was he seemed to think that basically everyone in America at the top level
of the high level
is clean. At the very, very top, he believes that the people are clean. You made a reel, you put that reel on, and the number of people that are like the natty boy elitists that come out of the woodwork. One were like, that's a terrible question to ask.
Yeah, they were like upset at the question. I was like, kind of a little taken aback.
That's a dumb question. Yeah, and then the number of other people that I got to come out and be like, oh no one's natty. Who believes that?
Right.
That's
people.
The other one.
It's really the people on both sides there too.
And I'm just like, you don't get that anywhere besides in natural powerlifting. It's just all people think that they're the smartest, most best person in the room, and they understand the entire spectrum of what's going on to a T. Right. You only get that in natural powerlifting might have the worst fans in the world because of that. Like everyone is the know-it-all, the expert.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I know. I kind of stayed out of the comments on that one. Sometimes
they're just so dumb. They're so dumb when you read them.
I didn't even know where to start and stop.
Well, it's
on
like
that
where
one,
do you? Like
it's
it's just a losing battle with people like that.
Yes. So I was just I just enjoyed the engagement, I guess. I'm like, guys, pumping the numbers up, so we'll take it on this one.
I know.
Definitely some best comments of the weekend.
Oh, for sure. So many, probably more on that post than you typically see on like a whole week. And we're far enough removed from that world that I think no one's this dumb and this dense about it. But then you do something like that, like, oh, no. Like tested powerlifting mega fans. Yeah, they are the ones that, or not even mega fans, just people that think that they're some tested natty boy elitist. Like no one knows more than them.
Stevie, it was funny because I posted that one, and he was obviously saw all the comments on there, and then a few days later I posted one where it was asking him if powerlifting coaches need to be strong themselves, basically. Yep.
Which he gave a great answer on that one too.
Another good answer, but it was funny. He messaged like almost shortly after I posted that one. He's like, "Oh, you're going to get me in trouble again with this." He's just kind of laughing, which is fun because like there's all these people flipping out in the comments, and then we're just kind of laughing about it behind. And there's like some people almost acting on, I don't know, on which post or both that we're like trying to do like gotcha stuff on them.
Yeah, it's like, no.
And I'm like, this is kind of our, I mean, he's not like our close personal friend, but he's our online lifting world buddy.
Yeah,
I would
someone
say
that we like consider a peer. Like, we don't.
Right.
We don't think we're way better than him or anything. Like,
no.
Actually having an honest conversation.
It was just a conversation, but that's also a factor of when people take a 30-second. We have this hour-long conversation, and they are only listening to the 30 seconds, and then they make a lot of assumptions based on the 30 seconds. It's like, well, if you listen to the whole thing, you notice there's a whole flow to this entire thing, and you probably would change your opinion.
I think it also proves the point how poor most interviews are around powerlifting, that actually asking anything of a decent question people think is a gotcha thing all of a sudden.
Right.
You can't just ask.
Right.
You have to just ask like, oh man, what was it like to get really strong? Oh, yeah. What was your like? And if you don't ask the same four questions, people think it's some crazy interview you're doing.
I think Steve has particularly good insight on some of that stuff.
I thought to me that was one of the best answers I ever heard to that question. The do you have to be strong to be a coach?
Right. That was a really good answer. I'll probably remember that one, I think. So that is true. Keith asked if there's any noon ball fights. No, there's not fights at noon ball that I've ever seen, but there's arguments
I was
quite
going to say,
frequently.
it's got to be some verbal altercations.
Yeah,
at
there's
times.
verbal arguments every day. There is, and a lot of it, what I picked up on, a lot of times it's over the score.
Really?
So what I started doing is I've historically been, when playing, like I'm a scorekeeper.
Yes.
Playing anything, talking about fifth grade tackle football. I was the scorekeeper. Talking about playing basketball, in high school, whether it's practice or just pickup games, I kept score, and people would like ask me what the score is, and I kind of lost that. But then after a few days of this, I'm like, people aren't 90% of the issue here is people aren't keeping like a consistent, accurate score. So I just do that.
So
And
do you
then
say it after every point, or what do you say?
every point, after every point, I say it out loud.
Yep.
And
some guys are like, damn it, he's giving us,
Well-
he's ruining something that we can complain about.
and then it doesn't take long that people pick up on that. Then if there is a dispute about the score, then it's known who the scorekeeper is, and then it's like accepted. And like
so they
part
go
of
back,
that
you're
is
the tiebreaker in a way.
is being honest too, even if it's like making the team I'm on look worse, because that'll happen where I'll be like, no, it's 3-4, and I'm saying our team's down, we're down 3-4, and someone on my team will be like, are you sure it's 4-4? I'm like, no, it's 3, in like just being assertive, even if it means not putting and then there's a level of trust there that it's like,
yes.
oh no, this is the scoreboard, so we will not argue about it. And it saves a lot of time.
Oh God!
Because
That's
I
the
get
most
so sick of
annoying
the
thing.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime people got to argue about rules when you're playing games, it's
Yes.
like, come on, man, let's just play the damn game.
Yeah. So that's one thing I've added is just if I'm in there, I will try to be the scoreboard because it just keeps things rolling, like for everyone's sake. But there's definitely arguments, but I've never gotten in an argument with people because there's a lot of trash talking. There's a lot of trash talking, and I would have to get pretty riled up to want to be trash talking. It hasn't happened at all, and it probably would almost never happen. And as a matter of fact, alternatively, like I don't want people to scorch me when I'm on defense. So I don't want people to feel like they need to attack me. So I always tell my opponent, like if they make a shot, I'm like, oh, nice shot, man. And like I always do that.
He's not giving me anything to work with.
Like I take the alternative approach because I'm like, I don't want to fire these guys up so they're just attacking me, because some of them are certainly much more skilled than I am, and I like.
And some guys feed off of that so hard. They need.
I see it happen every week there, where I'm like, this person is just now like going off because you two were arguing. I'm like, stop doing that.
Yeah. Well, and it was the same thing in high school. Like so many coaches, it seems like, especially in high school, the default is to kind of like, all right, you got to get in there and be tough. They got to give you that pep talk, like, quit being a girl, give you that whole thing. And I'm like, no, that doesn't. That
what
never,
are you, a girl or something?
Like that never did anything for me. But there's so many guys that like they need that like kick in the butt to get going.
Right.
And it's the same thing. Yeah, if you give guys the fuel of trash talking or whatever, some of them like that's what they need for them.
That's
to
true.
know it's game
That's true.
time.
And some people have to trash talk, like trash talking themselves is what fires themselves up a little bit, I think too. And I don't know if that's. I just don't have a high tolerance for the arguing, so I like to minimize the arguing because it's just freaking annoying when I'm like, no, I've got like an hour and a half and I want some intense exercise here. Let's quit arguing whether this world's most meaningless score is 1 point more or 1 point less here, and let's rock and roll.
Yes. Yep. Totally agree.
That could just be applied to a lot. I'm talking about noon ball basketball, but that same philosophy could just be applied to a lot of things, I think. So are we going to run down our 2023 prediction? So what are we going to do? We made predictions at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah. I think it was last December. We made predictions for how we thought 2023 would go. And last year, I believe, was about the second time we had done this. We had done, I think, a really small version of it in 2022. And so last year, I added some to it. We tweaked some, refined the game a little bit. So this year, we had the result. We have I think we end up with about 15 questions, 15 predictions, where we thought what way things are going to go. We have the numbers for most of these things. There's a few that you'll just know off the top of your head, or I'll know if we don't have to break it down. So we'll get the official score to decide who figured out 2023 better. And then also while we're doing it, we're going to have...
Because you know what I said and you know what you said.
I have it written down what we said. A lot of them we agreed on. There's a few that we specifically went the opposite way to each other just to have something.
Yeah.
But we're going to do updated questions for each one of these as we go too. Some of these
for
are
2024.
For 2024. Some of these are hilarious how they played out, how we were either incredibly wrong or like the question almost wasn't even valid.
Right.
But as a little recap though, in 2022, the score for you was 4 and the score for me was 5. So it looks like I won.
I remember I feel like I remember losing.
I won 2022 by 1 point. So we'll see how 2023 goes.
You can go on a back-to-back, or if I can try and redeem myself.
I can repeat here. So
do you have a can over there?
Oh, yeah, I do. Good call.
Maybe we should
man,
dip into a little can.
I don't know if we've ever done this one, actually. Have we ever done a Waterloo Peach before?
I don't know. One of the Davids would probably know.
Because it's pretty
keeper.
Damn good.
How do you know you haven't had a sip yet until just now? You could just tell.
The first smell, actually, I had one the other day because they're so good. But the smell it just hits you, man.
So Waterloo Peach, that sounds good. I bet I'd like that one.
And I forgot to tell you this too. Was it last week you had the tart cherry limeade?
That might have been 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago. What was funny?
We had ears up.
Yes, you're right. It was 2 weeks ago because it was right before Crew Falls, and to get ready for Crew Falls, just to get me in the mindset, I watched the Juggernaut video when Chad came to town.
Okay.
And we had
we have that?
We had tart cherry limeade for him too, which was really funny because he goes,
Did we give it high praise back then?
We did then even, and he's like, yeah, it's something citrusy, I think. And we're like, well, you kind of got it. There was the lime there.
I've got a in my drink spotter light here, I've got a blackberry bubbly. Historically, blackberry is not my favorite flavor of the sparkling waters.
Even as far as fruit goes, though,
blackberry is not high on my list. I really like raspberries, and raspberries to me are very akin to blackberries in appearance and maybe not in flavor though. I'm not really even sure. But I love raspberries, but not a big blackberry guy.
I'm exactly the same way.
It's not bad. What'd you give the peach?
Peach is borderline a 4. It might be a 4 actually.
This is okay. I'm between a 3 and a 3.5. I'd probably give it a 3.5. It's not bad. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So 2023
predictions are game and predictions. Here we go. So
game, set, and match.
This might be the hardest
40
one.
love.
Yeah, this might be the hardest one.
Do you understand tennis scoring?
Oh, yeah. I played tennis for a couple of years.
Yeah, right.
But I would actually honestly probably struggle with the scoring right off the top of my head if you said, explain
Why the hell? Okay. This is what I think it is. It's love, 15, 30, 40. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Why?
And then there's, I don't know why that comes from. It has to be some weird European
That's
thing.
insanity. What is that even? And that's just for one, what do you call that? That's a
But then there's
game.
like the whole add in, add out thing where you kind of have to win by 2. And so you can just be on 40 all for forever.
Right.
That's why the pro matches take so long.
Like just one game, how many games do you have to win a match? Is it like 7 or something like that?
I think it depends on the level. It does depend on the level you're at and that stuff too. So yeah, it's.
And then don't you have to win a certain number of matches, or is there just one match?
No, I think it's like winning like a set of 3 of 5 counts as like a point, and it's the first one to kind of like 3 match points or whatever it is.
How the hell on what earth would it be 0, 15, 30, 40?
I know.
I don't know.
Well, it's not 0. It's love.
Right, love. Yeah, love. Yeah, right. Yeah, which
it's got to be.
What is that?
It's got to be a French thing, right? Like what else would be?
But what countries count by 15 or 10 depending on what level of I want to know why it's not even consistent. Why isn't it?
I just had
10,
to Google
20, 30, 40.
It says the tennis scoring system is believed to be a medieval French origin, which, of course, it's a French thing, right?
Yeah. Isn't it weird? How could it, why is it even 15? Why isn't it just like 1, 2, 3, 4? You know, I just
It'd be too easy.
it's got to be up there with one of the oddest scoring. Well,
But just how many things score by? Well, I guess you could actually.
American football is something you
That's
could make
exactly
a case
what
for
I was
being
gonna say.
absolutely insane.
That's what I was going to say.
If we're going to be fair about it, tennis and American football are the two stupidest scoring games that I think that exist.
Well, but tennis might even make more sense than American football. You just
like-
grow up with it, so you
It's
start
like-
to normalize it.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, if you run it in, it's worth 6. And then you're like, oh, but you get to kick it after that too. And how much is that worth if you kick it in? Well, that's worth 1. But you can also, if you kick it earlier, then that's worth 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tackle them and then they're in their end zone, that's worth 2.
Mm-hmm.
And like the longer you start to explain this, and then you're like, but you also kick it off at a different time, and that's not worth any points.
Well, and that's just the point values. Also, the rules of football are insane. You know, if you didn't grow up with it and you came to it fresh and
It
explained
becomes so normal.
Oh,
but
just
like,
explaining how a touchdown works. You're like, okay, yeah. So you get in there and that's a touchdown. But also, like, if your ball just breaks the plane of it at any point, and also, like, if your body's in the touchdown, like someone throws it to you, but the ball's not, that still counts as a touchdown, doesn't it? Like, there's so many weird things like that. And also, if you drop it out the back of the end zone, it's a different, like, there's so many weird things.
Right.
The rules are just, they're crazy. And then they do change every year, too, which is.
And we know from last week's episode you can do a drop kick actually also.
The drop kick is, there's that. It's like the hidden rule book. There's a hidden rule book in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So to the first question, and this is probably the hardest one to verify in this entire list. We wrote, the Arnold will have more booths than 2022. We both said no. And I'm not even really sure how we proved that one.
My gut is that we were right. That I don't think it had more. I think they did further consolidation. I'm actually getting confused in my mind on the years now of what's what.
I actually am too now that you say that, because I was thinking last year was our first year back at the Arnold, but no, that was our second year back at the Arnold.
Right. I do not think there was more. I
think you're probably right. So I think you are right on that one. We both said no, it will not have. So we also felt that way.
So we both predicted that too,
which is kind of
I'm
funny.
surprised that we didn't think it was going to be more. I wonder what the feeling was.
By this point, though, last year
there.
we were looking at the map. We would have had the map to look at, and we would have seen that. Oh God, there's just all these empty spots.
Right. But if we flip that around and talk about 2024,
well, that's this next part of this question then. So neither one of us. I'm not counting a point if we both do it.
So it's just a wash.
I'm just going to count that as a wash act.
So it's love.
We are still at love all, baby. So I'm not going to count that. But 2024, so that's the next question then, is do we think 2024 will have more than 2023?
I do think 2024 is going to have more than 2023.
And I do too.
This is what you could, if you were adding any notes, I would say, like, my gut feeling on that is that you can take it to the bank that 2024 is going to be bigger and better than 23 and 22, both of them. I think it'll blow those two out of the water, honestly.
I think so. I mean, really, Sam Sulik's appearance alone could 10x.
Dude, we haven't
10X.
talked about
It could,
Sam Sulik for a
3X.
while, but he's getting up to like 3 million YouTube subscribers now. And we didn't talk about that one video or that meet and greet that he
No, I don't know if we really ever did, actually, on here at least.
I don't think we did. He did some local meet and greet. I don't know if it was somewhere in Ohio or something like that. And it was nuts. I don't know. I know we talked about it. There is nobody in the lifting community, I don't think, that can pull what he's doing outside of like Arnold.
Yeah.
I don't even think maybe the next up there would be someone like Seabum or something, like someone I don't even know, like Ronnie or Seabum. And I just don't think they're close to what he, I am so curious to see. I assume he's going to be there. What is it? Hostile Nutrition or whatever.
Supplements, I think.
Yeah, supplements. And If they have a booth and he's there, which they'd be insane not to do that, it will be absolutely nuts.
Well,
wherever
the
he's
video
at.
Tanner's talking about, I think Mark Bell actually posted it with the caption of "This feels like the second coming of Arnold," and yeah, so it looked like he was just in some local supplement shop in a strip mall somewhere. So many people out front, and then the line was down around the block, around the next corner. I mean, it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people lined up to meet him, and that was just at some little local supplement thing. It was nuts. So if he can bring that type of momentum to the Arnold, that alone will make things insane.
Yes. The animal cage is back.
And the animal cage,
We already
that's
know
a big
that.
one. Wasn't there another fairly big name that was on the list that we saw? I thought someone else.
Massenomics.
Well,
the booth.
goes without
Massenomics
saying
business.
there. I thought there was
Strength Co.
some-
Barefoot.
Yeah, I thought
Huck
there was
Finn
some other
Barbell.
name, like personality, that was fairly big that was on there. But
Well,
maybe,
Thor's back competing at
yeah,
the strongman too, which that's kind of something.
yes, it is.
You know, that means something. Actually, the lineup for the strongman is
looking impressive.
nuts. You know, one of the coolest ones that they've had, I think, probably since like the documentary where it's Eddie, Z, Shaw, and Thor. Like, this is probably the best lineup since that kind of lineup. So I do think overall the Arnold in 2024 is going to be bigger and better than we've seen since like 2019. I think it'd be the best that we've seen since 2019, probably.
Man, if it's on 2019 level, that would be amazing because it would be nuts.
Yeah, if that was the question, I would say no, it's not going to
No,
be there.
I don't.
Like,
I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that either. But even if
Right.
we were in that same ballpark, that would just be crazy because that feels.
yes,
I mean, last year it really did feel like we were there. It's like, oh, okay, this is definitely slowing down, but
right.
it feels like maybe they're picking it back up this year.
Yep.
Okay, that was question 1. Question 2: Dan Bell will set a new all-time world record. We both said yes. That did not happen.
We were wrong, right?
Nope, that did not happen.
Well, Dan's semi-retired,
Yeah.
at least quasi-retired, at least in there. So, yeah, his world record total of what 2607. That's from 2021.
Mm-hmm.
That would be in wraps, and then his other one, I don't know what year that was, but yeah, we were definitely not correct on that one. It wasn't a bad bet to make, I don't think, at the time.
No, it wasn't. But
I don't know what the last time he's competed now, actually. I don't really know if he has intentions to.
Well, I kind of got the
compete
impression the way
anymore.
he was talking that he might be done now. Like that that's
Yeah.
I think on that last table talk that he did.
Okay.
That was the way I understood the way he was talking. That's what it sounded like to me. But
Yeah, so
You
to be
never know.
determined there.
yep, he could always come back.
But I don't think so. We were both wrong, so we're still at a wash.
We're still at a wash. Still love. But I'm going to change this question for 2024 to
Yeah.
John Hack will set a new all-time world record.
I'm just looking here. His 198 world record right now was last set in 2022, July of 2022. I wouldn't make a habit of betting against John Hack, but I'm going to say no.
Okay.
You won't.
I'm going to say yes then.
Okay. And we're saying a total or an individual list with that count too.
Yes,
Okay.
totally, yes, yep. Okay. Question number 3. Massenomics will have a booth at 4 events in 2023. We had a booth at the Arnold. We had a booth at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. And I think that's it, isn't it?
I did the CrossFit thing too, right? Or was that in 2023?
I think that was 2022. Wasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm
I was
pretty
wearing my Bearfoot Shoes there.
Yeah. Yeah, which would have been pretty sure 2020. I thought for sure. I thought that was in the fall of 22.
It might be. I can't remember now.
Because I thought we did the Fargo meet, and it was like within a couple
Really
weeks
shortly
of that,
after?
that you did that.
Yeah.
That you did that CrossFit.
You're probably right. Yeah, and I don't think they did that this year because I'm thinking I don't remember telling them no, I'm not going to do that. But I don't think they did that event.
Because wasn't McCoy the
2023.
one you talked to?
Right,
do that? And they've been
right,
gone.
and he wasn't there. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Yes, I was getting confused on what was even going. So say again, we had the Arnold and the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic, and is that all we
I think
did?
that was the only times we set up the booth, I believe.
we had Crew Falls and stuff like that, but no booth, of course, there.
Nope.
So we did not hit 4. And what had we both said?
We both said yes, we will hit 4 events.
Oh, we're both wrong again.
We were. Because I can guarantee you what we were thinking in our minds was, okay, we knew the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic was coming up, so we knew that. We knew the Arnold would exist. We probably figured we'd get to Fargo for a meet, which I believe the way it fell, like on weekends this year, like it didn't work out there.
Right.
And then it was like, oh yeah, we'll sneak one more in somewhere, and that didn't happen either. So
setting up the booth is so much work.
it is. So we're not getting a point there, but where I'm going to change this now is Massenomics will have a booth at 3 events in 2024.
because we pretty much know the answer.
We know we're going to have
2 because we're going to have the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic and the Arnold. I'm not feeling strong about doing a third one.
I was going to say no.
Yeah, I'm not feeling.
It's getting harder and harder to do.
Yeah, it is just so it's mentally and physically exhausting, and like the reward isn't enough unless it's the Arnold, or unless it's our event. Like at our event, sure, sales are good and stuff too, but it's just part of our event.
Yeah.
Like, of course we want to have a big decked out booth there. Like that's part of the showing of all what goes into this thing. And honestly, like the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic, what it was in 2023 and what we've kind of known it to become and what we expect it to be, just kind of takes the place of the other thing. It's like, no, come here. Like if you want to see the Massenomics booth, like we have this thing now that we're going to, it's just like, this is different, but also I put it in the same context, like people asking us to sponsor their things. Like, sure, we might do a few small things, but it's like, no, we're gonna put our time and our money into our thing.
Our thing, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Like any money we give you for yours sort of does take away from the money we could spend on our own.
And like when our way of giving to the sport, or to the strength sports of powerlifting and strongman specifically, is by setting up something really cool at ours. And I become more and more a believer in that philosophy, and where it's just like, no, this is where we're at. Like, come see us. Like, we want to put on a cool show here, and we'd love to have you come see us here at this. The Arnold being the ultimate exception, because the Arnold is exceptional.
And it
honestly,
still was. Like, if scheduling worked out, where the Fargo one, like we both were somehow miraculously free, and it was on a weekend where it worked out, I had a good time, and I would do that one again. It's just us having free weekends is becoming
right. Or if there was a big enough meet in Sioux Falls,
right?
Like
that
we've done before, that it's got to be a decent meet though too, because it's too much work for not having anyone to sell. Those have always turned out decent. Like when we've done one in Fargo, when we've done one in Sioux Falls, we've always left there being like, oh, these sales were like, I enjoyed how much we sold. It's like for what we had to do, like the sales weren't bad, but it's never like we've gone and been like, oh, that was brutal. We didn't sell anything. It's never felt like that, but
it's just when you got to travel from Aberdeen and everything you're looking at is 3+ hours. It's already you have a 6-hour day just in travel, before you've done anything. So that's what makes that the hardest. It'd be a totally different story if there was, we were in Ohio and within an hour or two of you, every single weekend there was these things going on, but that's not quite the case around here.
Well, it's also a different thing if you can do them really frequently too, because then it's like part of the business model. And it's like, well, the more we can do these and we can do, X number of dollars at each one, it's like, no, we got to try and hit 20 of them, because if we do 20 of them, then that just, did a huge contribution of our total number for the year. Where maybe that's not the correct way of looking at it, but when I'm like, well, if we do like 1 or 2 of them,
right, it's just
kind of like, well, what's the
drop
point
in the bucket, kind
right,
of.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're both saying no to 3 events in 2024.
I would go no.
Next one
could happen though. I could see that being wrong.
Three is the number. If it's going to happen, it would be 3.
Yeah.
Next one, Buddy Caps will be on the podcast in 2023. What did we say, Tanner?
Did we say yes?
We both said yes. He will be. And he was.
That's what I hadn't even caught. Keith's comment. He says, "No Buddy Caps again." Frown face. Now I see what he knew we were going to talk about Buddy Caps.
I was wondering what that was too. I didn't get that.
Yeah. So we didn't make it happen. We did not make buddy caps happen, did we?
No, we did not.
Mm.
And the question
Now I'm
is,
feeling less confident about
I am
that going
too. The
forward,
fact that we
too.
couldn't get it to happen in 2023
Right.
makes me a little worried about 2024 now.
What's your take on 2024?
Well, I don't line
I'm
up
a
the
little
podcast
torn.
guests, so I'm a little more passive
I
in this
know.
one.
Right.
I kind of want to go the opposite of whatever you say here is what I'm thinking. So
I'm trying to decide what, because I genuinely want it to happen very badly. I think it would be a lot of fun, but I'm just skeptical
hard
of
to get a hold of, isn't he?
Yeah, if we can make it happen. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say no, but hope that I'm not me saying no. I'm not because I say no, I'm not going to try to make myself right on that answer. I'd much rather be wrong and have him on. But my gut feeling is no, just because of what the trend that we're noticing here. So I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But I hope I'm wrong.
Then I'm saying yes there. Score is still 0-0, but this next one I think is going to change that, Tanner. Next question. Last year when we did this, our Instagram account was at 44,930 followers.
Say what was it again?
44,930. So
almost
basically
45,000.
Basically 45. I said we will hit. The question was, will we hit 50,000 on Instagram? You said no. I said yes. The number this year, 52,990. So almost exactly 8,000. Actually, just 8,060. It looks like.
Okay. I'm not surprised I said no. I'm glad that that turned out to be wrong. I mean, I know why it's wrong because there was a shift there.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
And that was one that I just wanted to go the other way on you. I didn't think it was going to happen either, but I had to pick a different option here.
Right.
So
right.
I got the first point there. But now the question is for 2024. So we added 8,000, a little over 8,000 last year. If we did that again, that would put us at 60,000. And boy, does that seem lofty. But part of me thinks that's the trend that's the number we gotta go with.
Yeah, I'll comment on before I have an opinion on that. What happened? We were really gaining for a while there, and now it's slowed down again. And a big reason why I think it's slowed. It's like a catch-22. The big reason why it slowed down in November and December, at least in my anecdotal opinion, is that it's our big selling times of the year. So we have a lot of posts about our products and like trying to get you to buy our products and our sales and our promotional stuff. And the promotional stuff tanks the increasing in followers. It tanks because you're not posting the viral memes. The viral memes are what gain the followers now. But also, like, I think that Instagram understands momentum.
Yes.
And like
I think
when
you're right.
when you don't have momentum, then even if you throw in a meme that should or does even do well, it doesn't
it doesn't
like
say,
when
you did one funny one. Okay, you're on a clean slate here.
Right.
Like they're no.
It's
You
like
have to
they're
build
like,
up
no,
goodwill
you're one
again.
of those accounts. You're promoting you're trying to sell stuff all the time. So we're going to keep this down. Like what it requires is for you to do the viral meme things repeatedly for a period of time. And then it starts really throwing you some bones. And that's just, I don't know any of this to be true, but I'm pretty, this is what
I don't think that's that.
recognize.
I mean,
right.
It would be kind of a dumb system if you could just go promotion. Oh, one funny meme and it goes, you're
Right.
back on the good list. Oh, you tricked
Right.
us. Like it's not that
Right.
dumb. So I think you're right.
It's also a weird position to be in because the analytics are great from when you do a stream of really good memes and you start to get a bunch of new followers. That's a good feeling. But it's a better feeling when our sales are great. And they kind of work in contrast to each other. So it's like they kind of are mutually exclusive a little bit.
Yeah.
So it just kind of is funny. It's like, oh, I know that this is going to kill us getting followers, but we also would like to have some sales come in.
Metrics,
Yeah.
money. What
Right,
am I supposed
right.
to go for here?
So
Okay, so the number, see, in my mind, 60 feels like a stretch But
that feels like a stretch.
But 58 seems more like a good over-under number to me, unless you think that doesn't seem...
No, 58's probably a good number. Because if you say
5,000.
60, I think I go under for sure. Like, that's an easy choice to go under.
58, and that's what I think I'd have to say that, but 58 feels more like, that is 5,000. Like, that's...
Yeah.
You know, we did 8 last year, so 5 seems fairly doable, but also you never know. So that's what does make it confusing. So 58, Tanner.
It's so hard to know, too, because you don't know.
Well,
like,
actually...
next week it could...
It could. You picked the last one first, though, so I'm going to pick this one first. I'm going to say yes, we are going to get to 58.
Yeah, I know we should have some different, but I do also think we'll get to 58. I don't think we're going to crush it, but I think we will. I do think we'll get over 58,000.
Okay. And
so I got to use power of positive thinking on that one and agree that we'll be over 58.
Okay, I'm editing these as we go. That was the first point that was scored, though, right? Right.
You got 1 point.
Okay,
yes, that was the first one.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I had the point there. You're the point guy, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't.
I got to keep the score here
that I
too.
wasn't doubling up. Okay, yep. So I'm up 1-0 right now.
Should we pause for a advertisement?
Yeah, we probably should. Yep. Let's do it.
And do not skip ahead if you want to hear about Juggernaut AI. It's the world-class coaching right in your pocket. Here's a couple statistics. Juggernaut's been around since 2009 as a trusted source for training, knowledge, and coaching with Chad Wesley Smith. They have over 140,000 lifters of all levels from all over the world that are a part of their community. And they have, talking about their app rating, this is the Juggernaut AI training app. It is a 4.9 star app rating. It's the highest rated strength training app that exists. Did you hear that, Tommy? It's the highest rated. Yeah, it's probably highest rated and also one of the most frequently rated. You know, it's like one of the highest used, so it's also has an enormous sample size there. And there's a reason for that. There's multiple reasons for that. The app is just kind of pretty badass. If you've never seen it and tried it before, you get the app downloaded and you go, yeah, this is pretty badass. And also the training works. So a note about the training, you know, it's not artificial intelligence. You know, I don't want to be the one to break it to anyone there. It's not technically artificial intelligence. What it is it uses the scientific principles of strength training. You can read that book by Dr. Mike Israetel and by Chad Wesley Smith. And what it uses is a lot of the principles of the scientific principles of strength training. It uses all of the principles and creates training for you. And it's for you in the sense that it's always asking you for input on how you're feeling, how your lifts are going, how your lift for the day went, what your body weight is, what your sleep is like, what your nutrition has been like, all these inputs in there, and then it uses the scientific principles of strength training on top of that to build your programming and over time and change your programming over time to fit where all those other pieces of the puzzles are coming in. If you want to know more about it, go to juggernautai.app. That's also where you can sign up. That's where we want you to sign up if you do decide to give it a try, because that's where you can use discount code Massenomics. It'll save you 10% for the lifetime of your membership. So give it a shot at juggernautai.app.
And today's episode is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes. It's getting to be wintertime here in the Midwest. Might not know it by the weather, Tanner. I'm not sure if you've been outside lately, but it's not your normal winter right now.
It's been pretty decent, huh?
It's been very decent, but
Crew Falls might have been the worst bit of winter that we've had so far. that isolated one little 2-day span was the worst.
And really, it was just windy.
Yeah, right.
But if there's one thing you can know about the Midwest is if you think the weather's going pretty decent, it can change on you in a hurry. And if the weather's changing, I recommend you get yourself a pair of Bruin boots from Bearfoot Shoes. These are Tanner and I's preferred pair of footwear for these wintry conditions that are up ahead. And the Bruin boot is the go-to barefoot boot. It's a rugged heritage-style boot designed to improve foot strength and movement quality. Here, hold on.
Gotta Barefoot Bruin boots. I wear them all the time. I'm just taking over the ad here.
My dog, I got this fancy light over here, and my dog he rolled over onto the cord and about ripped it off the wall. But I caught it, so he was, we're good. But he was so taken back by my Barefoot ad that he just woke him up.
Yeah.
But back to the Barefoot ad. Its ultra wide toe box and flat outsole provide a substantial barefoot experience while protecting your feet from harsh terrain. It's crafted with durable, high quality U.S. sourced leather and designed for maximal comfort and versatility. If you'd like to get a pair of Bruin boots for yourself, go to barefoot.store and check them out. And it looks like here, you can use code SANTA for free shipping until December 31st. Thank you,
Nice.
Barefoot Shoes.
Thanks, Barefoot.
All right, back to the contest, Tanner. We have next on the list, we will hit 500 podcast reviews. We both said yes. That number is at 518, so we did it. That's not much to talk about on that one. We were at 458, so we got from 458, 18 plus 42, 60. We got 60 reviews last year.
Yeah.
So is that the number again? Is it 60?
I'll tell you what, though. We got 60 in about 6 months, and it's barely moved since because we stopped promoting it once we got
that's how
to
it always
500.
goes, though.
I know.
Okay, so maybe because we're on the bottom side of that 100, maybe we'll put the number at the line at 50 this year.
Yeah. So you're saying we would make it to
568.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like, well, if you make it to 568, you'll make it to 588.
I know. I know.
So maybe the number is 45. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we could just. I almost put the number at like 550 because when we're at the bottom side of the 100, it's really hard to get the momentum going again.
Okay, so you think 550 is a good over-under number?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say 550 then. It is your turn to pick first. What are you picking?
I'll say we won't make it to 550.
Okay, I'm going to say yes then.
Yeah, and I hope you're right on that one.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good over-under. I could see that one going either way.
We just haven't been pushing it.
No,
so
we haven't mentioned it in forever.
Yeah, so that being said, if anyone would be so inclined, we would love to get that even my prediction be damned. Go make me be wrong in like a week. That would be really sticking it to me. Be like, oh, you didn't think we could make it to 550? We made it to 550 in 1 week.
That'll show.
It's barely even 2024 yet.
That'll teach
you
that
stupid
guy a
asshole.
Next on the list, also related to the podcast, we said we will have 450 Spotify ratings. I just checked. We were at 424.
Oh, I didn't
were off
even know
by
what
a
we're
decent
at.
amount here, but what made Spotify trickier is it was new, and so we were at 330 last year. So we did gain 94.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gained 94. So we did gain a lot, but a little too ambitious with the number.
What did we think, though?
We both thought, yes, we would get there.
Oh, we both thought we
Yes.
would make
Yes, we
450.
both thought we would
okay.
get there.
So we were both wrong.
We were both wrong, yeah. So 90 was too ambitious.
So what about 75 this year?
I think that's the number, and we're at 424 right now, so that'd be 500.
Yeah. I think we'll make 500 of those.
Okay, I'm actually gonna play this one the opposite of you again and say no.
All right.
So
everyone make sure to leave us a rating on
Tanner's new segment, Spotify reviews.
I need to get one of these predictions right one of these years.
Next up on the list, so we're about at the halfway point, Tanner, and the score is 1-0 still right now.
So it's 15 love, yeah.
It is 15 love, that is correct. Next one, this one's going to require some quick counting on our part. We said there will be at least 35 guests on the podcast in 2023, and we both said yes, there will be.
Ooh, boy.
And I forgot to count this one ahead of time.
You said 35
Yeah.
in 2023. Do we have a good way to
I'm just going to go to just YouTube and count how many people's pictures I see quick.
Okay.
1, 2.
While you're working on that, maybe I'll talk about supporting our supporting members for this
There you
week.
go.
That'll give us so they don't just hear us count for about 5 minutes here. And plus, I just like supporting our supporting members. Anyways, I like to support these supporting members. And so what this is, if you don't know, it's a relatively new segment to the podcast that's supporting our supporting members. We have this group of supporting members we call them our Discord crew, our unpaid interns, just crew sometimes. We got a bunch of names for them. But what we do, we like to give back to them. So this week, a few I want to shout out are Big Mo. Big Mo, fellow South Dakota man, fellow supporting member, of course. He competed in an Olympic lifting meet, and he had an 87-kilogram snatch and 117-kilogram clean and jerk there. And we got to witness his one of his final training sessions leading up to that at Liberty Barbell in Sioux Falls. So congrats, Big Mo. Cool to see some Olympic lifting going on. And then the other thing I wanted to mention this week is the supporting members made a We're Crew video. And did you see that this week
I did see
today,
that.
Tommy? Yeah, it was the We're Crew video, and it was like, that was kind of like a viral trend. Had you seen some of those videos?
Yes, I had seen a few of those, yes.
Okay. But this was, of course, my favorite, and it was, so like the video style is like, We're Crew, and then it says like, you say what that means or like why it is your crew or what's significant about being crew. Like I had seen one like, we're powerlifters. And then, it says the different things. And, like, the people are always walking for some reason. I don't really know why that's the style, but that's what was going viral. And they did this crew one and all these funny anecdotes about being crew, about, not being okay with the plain ones. Like, you can't tell us not to buy hats, all this stuff. And a lot of crew that made it into that video that we're pretty familiar with from over the years. So it was just really funny, really cool to see. And I didn't know anything about that video coming. That was a complete surprise, and I assume Tommy didn't either. Yeah, no. So that we got a kick out of that. I had to watch that a couple times even. Scance was in there talking about how crews from all over the world, which is true. And it is just funny to see, or fun to see, and also that we can have absolutely no involvement in something like that, and then that gets produced still, like just totally from people taking it on themselves. That is fun, really cool. The other thing I was gonna say, that kind of wraps up supporting our supporting members. Other things you get if you want to become a supporting member, you go to Massenomics.com/join.
Wait,
that's where you can join up.
Maybe I didn't hear. Was it this week or last week? Did we mention? Did Big Mo have an Olympic meet?
No, I did that this week.
Oh yeah, okay.
You were counting.
Oh man, I was really counting hard there.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, that was the one of two things that I mentioned.
Okay. That's great.
So yeah, I did, and which was cool. Like it is cool seeing the Olympic lifts like that and watching Big Mo do it. But the other thing, if you sign up, you also get access to like discount codes, exclusive access to certain merchandise. You get early access to a lot of the merchandise, and you get to listen along live. You get access to our Discord community. That's probably the biggest thing. Bunch of like-minded individuals there chatting every day, all the time. You can get in on that. And important announcement, or important teaser, we are in the process of working on the next crew exclusive mailing. I guess we do these mailings periodically, and the last idea we had isn't working out.
Well,
it was a good idea.
Out. It's just probably going to exist in a slightly different way.
Yeah, so we're
adapting.
Adapted it, and this new thing that sprung partly from that, it's becoming a piece of this other bigger thing. We're really excited about what this next thing is going to be for the crew. It is a mailing, but
that's one part.
The mailing is just the introduction of what we'll be launching here. So we can't give too much away about it yet. We're kind of hammering out we have the framework done, and now it's just hammering out some of the finest details to go along with it. It's going to be really freaking cool. I think all the supporting members are going to love it. It is going to be exclusive to supporting members, though, and like this is going to be an ongoing thing. That if you're a regular listener, you're really going to want to be a part of it. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of bragging rights involved.
I was going to say there's a lot of bragging rights and honor that can be earned in this. Yes,
there are actual prizes to be earned related specifically to this too. This is all very cryptic, and you probably can't really understand where this is going, but it's okay. All you need to understand, it is going to be really cool. We're hoping this will be an early 2024 thing that comes out. So it should not be too long from now, but I say all this, if you're a fan of the show and you've been listening for quite a while, I would join up now so you can get in on this. You will not want to miss getting in on this either. Like, that's legitimate. It's part of a sales pitch, of course, but it's also true. Like, if you're a consistent listener of the show, you should sign up, and this new reason is additional reason enough that if you've been on the fence, now would be the time to get signed up. There will be a line in the sand eventually where if you aren't signed up by that line in the sand, you won't get in on it, and there will be regrets if you don't get in on it. So sign up now, massenomics.com/join.
Don't want to miss your shot. Okay, right. You ready for the official count?
Yeah. Did I jibber long enough there?
I got it. Yep. So it's possible I only counted once. It's possible I could have maybe missed one, but we guessed. We said there will be at least 35 guests on the podcast. We both said yes, there will be at least 35. The final number we came to, 37.
We did it.
So that's a pretty good over-under number there. You know, that's pretty tight to be.
So we both said yes, and we did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So looking at, so the question is, looking at 2024, do we want that number to stay at 35 or does that number move to 37?
I would let you pick the number, I guess, what you think there. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to pick 35 as the number again.
Yeah. 35. And I know we did 37 in 2023, like you said. I think we would. I don't know why I think this. I think we'll be just under. I'm going to say under. Okay. I'm going to say under in 2024, just to be a little different. And I don't know if that's good or bad. It's just, obviously we're going to have 52 episodes.
Yeah.
But I think guests will be just under 35.
Okay. I'm going to say yes. So we're having way more dissent on our options. Yeah. So this will be way more chaotic.
It makes it more interesting.
Yes, because we're still at 1-0 and we're at the halfway point here. So okay. Next question. This is the probably funniest one on the entire list.
Is it the barbells?
The gym will acquire 3 new barbells. Tanner's answer, no. No, the gym will not have 3 new barbells in 2023.
This is the one we've been reviewing. We've coming back to all year long.
Yeah, would you like to give us a guesstimate for what that actual number is for 2023?
Well, I know just from the Arnold I accumulated 3.
Yeah, so that was done in March. We were 2 months into the year, basically, and it was already...
Well, and then I've gotten...
You got the American Chewy
bar, 3 more Texas... Yeah. I've got the Semper Fi bar, the Chewy bar, the Bells of Steel Curl bar, Generation 1 Texas Power Bar, a Generation 3 Texas Power Bar, the Mac Texas Power Bar. So that's 6. Then did that new Texas Power Bar? That was in the 29 millimeter Texas Power Bar, because we opened that this summer. So that's 7. So I know there's 7.
Mm-hmm.
And am I forgetting any other specialty bars or anything like that we threw in the mix? I think 7.
Well, did you get a Mars bar or not?
I think we already had that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, we had that already. So there's at least 7, though.
All right.
At least 7 for sure. I would almost just say 8 because I'm probably just forgetting something out there.
All right. So that's another point for me. I'm at 2. The question for 2024, though, we know 3 is too low of a number. Should that number be 5? Does that seem more like
It's funny because in hindsight, 3 seems so funny that I thought no. But now when even if you say 5, I'm like, yeah,
there's not 5 more bars.
Probably wouldn't really get 5. I'm like, yeah, I just can't see what 5 would have. But I'm sure that's exactly what I thought a year ago. I'm like, well, what 3 would we get? Is that what we're saying the number is?
I'm going to say the number's 5. The gym will acquire 5 new bars. So you're going to say yes or no?
I'm going to say no. Okay. We won't get 5.
Okay.
Because I'm just not sure what it is, but also it'll probably be wrong by March. But I'm just going to, my gut is like, no, we won't get 5.
All right. I'm saying yes to it. So we will find
right.
We will find out. I really hope I'm right again on this one.
Yeah.
It's just a fun one to be right on because it means that you're getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. We did have something new that got delivered here today that I just put in the gym. We got the AbMat log crash pads.
Yeah, I did
see
the
those. really big crash pads, and I haven't really used them myself yet, but I busted them out today and set them up. And
how tall are those things?
Like, how long are they?
No, like when you set them on the ground, are they like a foot? Do they raise a foot? Are they a foot?
Yeah, they're
deep
like a foot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like maybe even. I'd say like 12 to 18 inches or something like that.
And I mean, are they fairly sturdy? Like if you it doesn't totally collapse when you drop a lot on it.
No, it doesn't. They're pretty sturdy.
So that is the one to get.
They're I think Cerberus also makes a good one that's similar, and I just like how big they are. Like how much coverage you're getting. Like if you're standing in the middle of it, the log's something pretty disastrous is gonna have to happen in order for you not to land that log on the crash pads. I think so. I like it from like a safety equipment safety point of view.
So where do you stash those things at then? They got to take up some room, don't they?
Yeah, it's funny. There was a few people in the gym when I had to put it. Like I finally was like, all right, I'm done looking at these, and took a picture. Like I have to put them somewhere, and I just kind of set them. Like where the kegs and stuff are, like the other ones are all like, so we have like 3 pairs of different crash pads now, and I just like put them over there, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just stack. It's just like stacking things more and more higher over there.
The Tetris game,
yeah. So they fit just fine, but it's also like if you want to get kegs out, you gotta move stuff. But it's also it's the way it is.
That is the name of the game.
Yeah. They're really nice though. They're cool, and those will get used at the 2024. Massenomics Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic Strongman event.
Yep.
So stay tuned on that.
Yeah, I want to see those in person. I'm excited to check those things out. Next on the list, we will podcast in December of 2023, and remember to cover these. We both said yes. I think that was more of a carryover from 2022 because we didn't know if we almost
forgot to
would remember the game, but I kind of feel like we can take that one off the list.
Yeah,
now.
That's not a valid question because it's become a thing that we do. So
So I'm going to take that one off. Next one on the list. John Hack, will he total over 2,300 pounds? Tanner and Tommy, we both said yes. This is now kind of doubling up on a question we asked earlier.
Well, maybe we should do a Jesus question in place of this.
I think that's a better one now.
But we both said yes, and we were both wrong.
Yeah,
then, right?
we both did, yes. So Jesus, I guess the question there is, will he break? Well,
he's done 2,540 pounds.
Yeah, so do we want to say is he going to break his own record or is he going to break the all-time record?
Yeah, Dan is 2607. Jesus, I do think has the highest in
sleeves. Not
in wraps. So yeah, in sleeves, he does have the heaviest one. So would the question be, is he going to break? Maybe it'd be, is he going to break 2,600? I don't know. That seems like a pretty big jump, though. That'd be 60 more pounds on his total.
It does, but when you squat and deadlift that much, it's like, I don't know, what's squatting like 30 more pounds, deadlifting 20 more, and benching 15 more.
So is that what we would want the number to be? Is he gonna hit 2,600?
God, it just seems so lofty. I mean, he could do it though. Is the thing,
right?
I'm going to let you decide what the line is on this one. I've picked the last couple, so you decide the line, and then I'll decide first what I'm picking.
Well, actually, what I'm going to say is, this might seem weird, but so his number is 2,540. I'm just going to say, will he break 2,550 in 2023? So, like, will he go over 2,550? So it's only 10 more pounds than what he's done before. But the way I'm looking at it, he put together probably like a perfect meet to get 2540, and like the gains don't get easier as you get stronger. Where if we say we say 2600, I'm just definitely going to say under.
Okay.
But if we say 2550, all he's got to do is just a little bit better, but it's like not easy to do a little bit better.
Lifetime
right,
too.
right. So 2550 is the number I'll say.
And I'm going to say over on that is what I'm going to pick.
I'll go under just so we have more differences, and just say, I don't know, if he misses like 2 lifts, then he probably can't make it. And probably he's only going to compete like twice.
I'm assuming the
or
Sheffield
3 times or so
in
Worlds, and then maybe like some nationals thing that he won't go balls out.
Yeah, they're not going to go all out.
So he's got like 2 chances.
But even a lot of times at Worlds, they don't go balls out either.
SBD or the
really
SBD
Sheffield
one.
Assuming
the Sheffield one. Yeah.
And that's usually, isn't that earlier in the year too? Isn't that right
I think
around
that's
March?
In March, yeah.
So we should hopefully have an answer on that one relatively soon here.
Right.
Okay. Tom Stoltman will repeat as world's strongest man. We both said, what did we say, Tanner?
Did we say no?
We said he will not repeat.
Yeah, there's too many options. Even though I think my logic there would have been he might have been the person I would most highly pick to do it again, but I will not take him over the field.
Yeah.
And that was the right choice. That's exactly true to be what happened. So we were right. He didn't win it again. So then do we ask this year, will Mitch Hooper win back to back? Because Mitch Hooper on a very big role, and people a lot of people on the Mitch Hooper bandwagon.
This question is so hard though, because the field is so deep that
right.
I almost don't even like this question anymore, because it's just so much easier to say, unless you're unless you're super high on Hooper, it's hard to say, yes, he's going to repeat, because the field is that good. Yeah. And that's not a knock against him. That's an acknowledgement of the depth of the field right now.
Right. Yeah, because if the question is, I don't know if we're doing it, but if the question is, will Mitch Hooper repeat again? I would say no.
Yeah, and that's what I would lean towards. But we're
top 2 or 3 favorite for sure. But.
Yeah, I think we're going to modify this one because we're going to kind of roll it into the next one here. Because the next question, so there's still no points awarded. The next question was, will Brian Shaw finish in the top 5 at World's Strongest Man?
What spot did he get?
I'm trying to find the finals here.
I had to have said yes. I think, I don't know. Just
actually, it's funny.
Okay.
So according to final standings. According to Wikipedia, he finished 7th.
Okay.
And will Brian Shaw finish in the top 5 at World's Strongest Man? Tanner, you said no. I said yes. And I believe you're like, right. I've been burned on this game too many times. I'm saying no. I think I wanted to disagree with you because we had too many that we were agreeing on. So the score is now Tanner 1, me 2.
But he did win the strongest man on earth.
He did win that. That was not the question. Okay.
He did award himself the title of strongest man on earth.
And so the question I'm going to change this to now, because Brian Shaw now does not matter in this game. I'm going to say
anything ever.
Will Mitch Hooper finish top 3 at World's Strongest Man?
I'll say yeah. He'll finish top 3. I'll say he'll finish top 3.
Tanner says yes. You know what? I'm going to say yes on that one too.
I think we should have one. That's a good question. I think we should add one more to the strongman. Because do we have any more strongman questions, or is that it? I think we should add one more for 2024, and it's Will Hofthor at World's Strongest Man. Will he finish? Should the question be top 3 or top 5?
That is a good question.
Maybe it should be top 3. I don't know.
At World's Strongest Man, actually?
Or maybe it should be top 5. I don't know.
It depends on how healthy he can stay. That's really the... Yeah. And he has had some injury bugs the last few years. That's what I have a hard time... Maybe it's top 5. Maybe we do go with that. Okay. Watch, he'll get first, and we'll be like, "Oh,
I know."
That's get top 5.
Yeah, I know. Like, so if we'll say, will he get top 5? That's not a lock to me, because if I'm just thinking about it, I say Hooper and Stoltman. They're my top front runners, and then there's a lot of
and
you know,
Novikov
if,
is always up there.
right. If Martins competes there, he'd be a contender. Trey Mitchell had his Achilles injury, so I don't know what his timeline is on that. There's
Evan Singleton will be up there too, though.
Yeah. But Thor doesn't have to be as strong as his strongest all time to finish top 5 at World's Strongest Man. He's got to get to like 90%. I'll say that he will be able to make. He's got to stay healthy, of course.
That's what I think. That's what we're betting on here. If he's healthy, I think he can do it. But
right.
So you're betting on.
I'll
the fact
say
that he's
he
going to
will
stay
make
healthy.
top 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to say no on this one.
Yeah, which that's been more of his track record as of late.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see him do it, though. I would.
Yeah.
But I'm playing the game right now, so the game says that
it's all about the game
and how you play it. All right, next on the list, the Jefferson deadlift. We're down to the final 3 right now.
Okay.
Jefferson deadlift world record. Actually, this is the last question. I've added a few. This was the last question for last year's list.
Okay.
So this one actually does.
You're ahead of me by one.
This could tie things up right here.
Do we have a different answer on the last one, or do we have the same answer?
We do have a different answer.
Oh boy, this is a lot comes down to this.
This is it. All comes down to this, and here we go. The Jefferson deadlift world record will be broken in 2023.
So was the record already the 900 and some pounds by?
Well, that's what I'm trying to remember, because didn't we run? Did we run the contest and did?
Oh, we have that on a blog now, right?
Oh yeah, we do have the actual dates on there. Because that's what I cannot remember the timeline on this stuff.
Oh yeah, the dates are in there because it's 10 heaviest Jefferson deadlifts of all time. You know what the date is of Mark Rosenberg's?
December 31st, 2022?
Yeah. Yeah. So
okay, so it was not.
So the answer is no.
Okay, it was not broken in 2023.
Right?
That's how I read that. I even found the post on Reddit here, and it says posted 1 year ago. It doesn't say the exact date, but the Barbend post. The post on Barbend says December 31st, 2022.
Yeah, and ours is updated July 7th, 2023.
Oh, so ours isn't.
Well, I just don't. Nobody broke it after that, though. I don't think Mark did more. He hasn't done more than that. So It has not. It was not broken in 2023.
Okay, because I found our blog. Oh, this is our Why Are Jefferson Deadlifts Are Beneficial blog post. I was on the wrong one.
We have so many.
Yeah, 12/31/2022. Okay, so the way that
what did we each said? Did you say that? I don't even remember.
I have not said the answers yet.
Okay.
Will the record be broken? Tanner said yes, it will. Tommy said no, it will not.
So that myself deeper in the hole.
That brings the final score to 3-1. 3-1 or 45.
Yeah.
No,
15.
That's not even right, is it?
Yeah, 40-15 or
well, yeah. I don't know. Confused now. Love 15-40. Yeah, that's only.
Or is that game? Is he scored?
I think that's game. I think that's game.
Okay. Yeah. We'll say that's game because it is game, and it would work out well if it was. So that was game.
Okay.
Not set match, but it's game set match. Yeah, there's there's games and sets and matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
all about the game and how you play it.
Well, it's not, because sometimes it's about the set and sometimes
it's all about the matches.
It's more about the match.
Yeah, how you play it.
Yeah, they actually kind of Motorhead got that wrong a little bit.
But
I guess it's all made up. It's all made up of games at the same time, though. So I don't know if you look at it the micro or the macro.
That's a good point. Okay, so that concludes that. That concludes the 2023 results, but the 2024 predictions are not done yet. I have a couple more here. Okay. I think we can clear out Jefferson deadlift. I don't think the world record is going to be broken in 2024. Do you? Do you want to keep that question in? I feel like that's not going to.
Nah, I don't think I would bet against it. So
okay, here is a new one I'm adding in. In 2024, will Massenomics produce 48 additional YouTube videos that are not the podcast?
Oh. Yeah, we didn't even have a question about YouTube at the time, did we?
No, because we didn't even plan on doing it yet. So this year we missed 1 week, but technically I believe there's a week where we had 2 videos. So
we're kind of at. We didn't start at the beginning of the year, but we.
Yeah,
or did we?
No,
We
our
started
first
in, like,
one was
March.
just after the Arnold. Actually, I think it was just before the Arnold, actually.
Right.
I have it right here. The first one would be the belt squat. Unboxing the new belt squat in negative 20-degree temps.
Yeah.
I feel like I was there, even though I wasn't. And that was posted on February 15th. So we are closing in on the year mark of, we're only about a month out from doing videos every week for a year. That's kind of insane, actually.
Right. So we missed about 6 there. So we're going to end up with 46, 45. We're going to end up with about 45 in 2023 here.
So really
probably.
and we have tons of plans for next year, but really the question is, are we going to still do them basically every single week?
And what number did you say? 48?
I said 48. So that means we can miss 4 weeks.
Oh, I think we'll do it. I think we're going to do it. We're going to, it's gaining some traction. We've seen some success there. We've seen some growth. There's incentive for us to keep doing it. It's kind of exciting. It would really have to go downhill, or we just have to be like, no, we do not have the time for this.
that's honestly the biggest concern for me is it's not not an inspiration or an ideas thing. It's just, will something come up where it's like, no, there is just no time anymore. Because if something's going to go, that's probably the first thing that would go.
Right. Well, and I could see us missing a few, but that allows us to miss like 1 every 3 months.
Yeah. And a lot of times the way we do them, we have events where we can batch 3 or 4 of them at a time.
Right. I'll say I think we'll make the 48. I think we'll do it.
I think we are too, and I don't want to bet against us there either. It's bad mojo to do that. So I'm gonna.
That's true.
We're both gonna say yes on that one, but I have one. Okay, I have 2 more questions now. This next one is maybe kind of a YouTube question too, but Massenomics will get on an airplane for another Massenomics event. We will travel by plane for another event.
I think we'll do. We're talking, comparing it to maybe going to see Dave Tate and Mike Israetel, and I think yes. We'll do something like that again in 2024.
I was going to say yes there. We can't both have such an easy agreement. So what I'm going to say is this:
2.
We will do 2 trips, but maybe we won't say a plane. We'll just do 2 content trips outside of South Dakota. That's how I'm going to split it. 2 content trips outside of South Dakota.
And the Arnold doesn't count as one of them.
Arnold doesn't count.
Yeah, that the reason that gets tricky is because of the calendar of where it's like, well, we've got the Arnold in March, we've got the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic in July.
Yes.
If we're planning another trip, then maybe that's in September. If we've got Crew Falls and Crew Falls doesn't count. So also we'd say Crew Falls doesn't count. We've got Crew Falls in December. That is not a gimme because of the schedule.
The schedule. But can I say, just to make you think even harder?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to give away our potential plans, but we talked about there's various events throughout the year that would be worth us going to for a content perspective.
Oh, that's true. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. I feel like I just talked you into answering the way I wanted you to answer. Or that I talked you into saying the answer I wanted.
Yeah, that's true. I'll say yes. We'll hit 2.
Damn it. I don't really want to bet against us, but at the same time, I don't want to give the same answer. Okay. We're both gonna say yes there, I guess then.
Okay.
Final question that I had, I don't know if you had any to add. YouTube subscribers. What are we at right now, Tanner? What's the official count?
4,620. Is that?
Yep, 4,620. That is correct. 620.
On that one.
And what will that go up? Man, this one could be a real wild card, just depending on how content goes.
Yeah.
It probably went up over 1,000 in the last year. If I had to.
Yeah.
Okay. We just need to have a slightly educated number here. I'm going to pull the.
And this is with almost a year of working at it.
Yes. So if I look last year at this time, our number was December 2022. YouTube subscribers 3,150. And what do we say we're at right now?
46. So we went up
about
1,500. So was the number 6,000? Will we be over 6,000?
I like that over under another 1,500. That would feel great to be over 6,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe, because
Not
I want to say that
easy,
too, maybe we need to go more ambitious. Maybe we need to say
65
or 7. Yes, because now I'm like, oh man,
that's like a really.
I would love to be there, but
yeah.
that feels like a stretch goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe we should. What number? So what number are we saying? Is the line?
Well, it depends who's picking the number, because then the other person gets to pick what they're at on it.
All right, I'll pick the number.
Okay.
I'll say 7,000.
7.
Are we going to see some exponential growth here?
It's damn near exponential growth.
Yeah, right.
Or damn near 2x growth, however you want to.
Right.
7,000.
But is it like, is there momentum? Is there a momentum factor there?
Well, I mean, we even saw that this year a little bit. There is some momentum factor. Okay, well.
But it's a big number. Not, are we got to.
If we sit, that is a big number.
Take what we're at now and 50% increase.
But we both in the previous question said, yes, actually the previous two questions said we're going to make 48 videos and we're going to get on a plane twice for the sake of making content.
Right.
If we're doing that, then I'm saying 7,000. I'm going to say yes.
I want to also, I kind of lean towards that we will, but I'm going to say no, just as a.
I think that's a right move.
There.
And I would have done the exact same thing. If you said yes, I would have taken no, because that is ambitious.
Right. I mean, obviously I want to, hopefully it's 10,000, but we'll see.
That would be amazing. All right. Yeah. That concludes, unless you had any to add. I've kind of took the reins here, so I don't know if you had anything.
Here's one additional gym related one that maybe just is humorous and is not relevant to anything, but in 2023 I started my York Roundhead collection for the gym.
Yes.
And the only ones, we got some on the Arnold trip that I pick up along the way that are kind of secured and purchased, but I don't have in possession yet. But the only ones I have not paid for are a pair of 85s and a single 9. I need a pair of 85s.
When you say haven't paid for, like that, you're also saying you don't own them either, right?
The 85s and the 9s, yes.
Yeah, like
No, I do not have
missing from the collection.
Yeah, because the way I worded the reason I worded it like that is because there's a couple pairs that I have paid for but don't have in my possession yet because other
and I
crew
consider
and stuff
once you say you paid for them, I consider you own them at that point.
Yeah. So what I don't have, what I haven't paid for, what I don't own are a pair of 85s and a single 9.
So you have the like 90s and 100s?
Yeah. Really? I have the 100s at the gym.
Oh, I didn't know you had those bigger ones.
Gym. I have the 100s at the gym. The 90s and 95s and a couple of those are, I can't even remember. Eddie Waffler and Jim got a pair for me, and I think Eddie has those now. If Eddie's listening. Is Eddie listening? Eddie, do you have those? What do you have? Do you have those, or does Steven have those? I can't even remember. Actually, I bet Steven still has those. I bet those guys haven't hooked up yet on that, so I don't know. Maybe Eddie went to bed.
They could be scheming something.
Yeah, so I think that's just one pair. But then there's a guy in Indiana that's supposed to meet us that I've paid for, the big collector guy that has a couple pairs that, when we go through Indianapolis, he's going to meet us in Indianapolis just to hand them off to us, either on the way there or the way back. I got to coordinate that. Okay. Big Eddie did say, and I can't remember what size those are, but then there's, they're either 90s or 95s. I think that they have, because I've got the 80s at the gym. I can't remember. Maybe those are 80s. It doesn't matter. But
the numbers
what I don't have
blend together.
Yeah, what I don't have secured is a single 9 and the 85s. 85s being a pretty rare one to get, and the 9s being the rarest. But I just need one. So question being in 2024. Will I get that?
I feel like you will, because to go a whole year with just that missing feels like you would have given up on it at that point.
And I'll add in there just to make it more interesting. The one Texas Power Bar I'm missing now is the second generation Texas Power Bar, the one with the snap rings. that it is the rarest, not particularly expensive, not like particularly collectible or expensive, but it is the
Right.
rarest. It is the hardest to find. So will I get the second generation Texas Power Bar, the 9-pound round head, and the pair of 85
I think you
pound
would
round head?
because
Yeah.
when I think of myself, if I was working on a collection, to have the
Yeah.
collection 99% done and to not finish it would actually
It'd
be painful.
Like, right.
So that's where I'm going to say yes. The Texas Power Bar does make things more interesting because that's an easier one to be like, oh, whatever on. But
Right.
I'm just going to say yes for the sake of completion.
Yeah.
It would make me feel better if you got all of those done.
Yeah, I guess all that being said, I'm going to say yes too. So we're not like actually finding anything new about this. I guess it'll be interesting to review in a year though, of if I actually got that stuff or not, or if I'm still sitting, like you said, on a 99% completed collection
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So is that it? Is that all of our questions we're going to go with?
I think, is there anything else way different here that really changed in 2023 that we'd really need to include as a, that might be good enough.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like one of the biggest changes is if you look at the business or if you
The
just look at the
YouTube, and
content,
we
YouTube
hit
is
on
so
that,
different than
We hit on that.
to not basically make a video outside of the podcast for years on end and then to come out of nowhere and do, what did we say, 40 some or whatever?
45 probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought it back from the dead.
We did.
Resurrected. If you ask me something you do different, I just say we wouldn't have quit doing
I know.
YouTube for 7 years in the middle there.
It was just so many things changed. Like the audio changed significantly.
Yeah.
The cameras,
Yeah.
all the back then,
Right.
cameras almost didn't have autofocus. So it was like damn near impossible to do vlog stuff because unless you had some of the nicest cameras, you didn't have autofocus on those things. And then just the computers back then, like your computer, well, I mean, we were doing it, but editing videos then was such a pain in the ass compared to now. Like, how often do you wait for your computer when you're editing? Do you ever think like, oh, this computer is slowing me down?
No.
And
I mean, I'm not doing advanced editing.
No, I'm not either. But like
anything,
it used to be a thing where it's like, oh, okay, it's kind of
Yeah.
a pain in the ass to
yeah.
get this footage on. And
I mean, because I did make a decent number of videos back then, and like that was a thing where it like took a while to do that.
it's like you move this, and your computer's got to stop and think for a second,
Right.
and then this jumped over, and like it's just making videos was way more of a pain in the ass then, unless you had a lot of money to throw at it, and
Right.
not that we have a cheap setup by any means now. Like we have thrown a decent amount of money at it, but it's just way more accessible now than what it used to be. So it makes it significantly easier to do. We both have little studios in our house for that part. You know, that if we didn't have that, even that would, that makes that part even harder too. But
True. Okay. Well, that wraps up what our predictions are. I think I want to make sure I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you all to check out Build Fast Formula also. You check them out at buildfastformula.com, of course. And right now, while this is, you still got time once you listening to this, it's Mary Gaines Mass from Build Fast Formula. They've got free standard shipping through the new year on all orders that are standard shipping. So make sure to check that out. Also, you can use discount code Massenomics. At first, it used to just be on your first order. Now it's on every order. So return customers, you can still use discount code Massenomics, save you 10% on your entire order there. Also, if you sign up for a subscription on anything, that saves you an additional 10%. So, with free shipping, all these, the Massenomics code.
I can hear it right now. Do you hear that noise? That's pencils coming out and going to paper while we're talking.
Like everyone is putting pencil to paper on this one, and they're like, oh, dear God. We can't afford not to head over to Build Fast Formula and check out their Vaso Blitz, their Full Blitz, their 80-20 protein, their drink hack. Blitz 3D is actually sold out right now, so not Blitz 3D, but also stay tuned. I think maybe Build Fast is going to have a little giveaway where maybe there's a chance to maybe they'll partner up the drink spotter with drink hack, and you could even win a drink spotter there. So be on the lookout for that from Build Fast Formula. Thank you, Build Fast.
And today's show is brought to you by none other than Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Thanks, Texas Power Bars. Talking all that about our YouTube, if you're a listener and you're not subscribed on our YouTube, we would love it if you would go make sure to subscribe. New video every week. This next upcoming one is a gym tour of Liberty Barbell with Jonah Leo. That's I got to see it today for the first time. It's just coming out here tomorrow as we record, and that's a really cool video. The week after that, if you're a supporting member, you're going to like this one. There's it's Keith and I do a really cool barbell video that I think people will like. So if you're into barbells or unpaid and underrated, anything like that, you're going to like that video. So next couple ones are fun for sure. Don't miss those, and make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Please subscribe. Watch our videos.
I had a note about something. This is completely unrelated to anything or anything we've talked about on this episode or just anything, period.
Good. Let's hear it.
I was just thinking about this earlier this week. Growing up, actually, I'll explain the way that this first came about.
Okay.
Did you ever do that thing where you tape two empty 2-liter bottles together with the ends like this? You put water in there and you make the tornado
thing? Yeah, it's like
everyone's done that, right?
Like a little science experiment.
And like you do it in school for some reason, and this teaches you what? This isn't my point, but like
I don't remember what it taught you, but it looked cool.
It was fun. Is what it taught you. Is like, this is pretty fun, and like it's cool. And I was talking to Jack about that. My son, he's in 6th grade. And I'm like, have you done that ever in school? He's like, no, we've never done that. And I'm like, you've never done the tornado thing?
Prepare to have your mind blown.
Yeah. I'm like, we got to do that. And then what this led me to, I'm like, when I was growing up, it seems like there was always scenarios where there was 2-liter bottles of pop around. All the time.
Yeah.
Like weekly, there would be like 2-liter, like people had people's fridge. They always had 2-liter bottle, these 2-liter bottle of pop. Like every like little event thing you went to, there was 2-liter bottle of pop. And always. I think they cost like 99 cents or something like that.
That's what I was going to say is I'm pretty sure at most grocery stores, they were the same price as a regular bottle.
And my point being, when is the last time you've seen a 2-liter bottle of pop? And maybe some people are saying, "Well, I just saw one," but I feel like they are not uncommon.
The only time
now.
I can tell you that I've handled the 2-liter in the last few years, it'd be occasionally. My wife and I get the kick where we want a root beer float. Then you get the 2-liter. Outside of that, though, I have not touched a 2-liter in. I mean, a 2-liter Ado, that was like a staple growing up. At parties, someone would have a 2-liter Ado all the time. And I haven't seen one of those in forever. Do they even make Mountain Dew 2 liters anymore? Is that even a thing?
I don't know. When you go to the grocery store, I think when you go to the grocery store, are there a bunch of 2-liter bottles of pop you can buy there?
I don't know, actually.
So the point is, obviously, I understand they still exist, but am I wrong or right in saying that I feel like the amount that I see them is just decreased exponentially?
You are right, because I've actually found, I'm just Googling it and seen pictures of people holding 2 liters, and it's comical looking at them because I haven't seen that size of bottle in so long that it looks funny.
Yeah. The thing with the 2-liter bottle of pop is, rarely does it get finished and then it gets flat, right? Because you've cracked, once the seal's cracked.
Yeah, you got to have it at that party is all. You got to get through the whole thing.
And then also there's the, what sucks? If you're a little kid and you're at the thing and they give you like the tiny paper cup and that's how much pop you get. I'm like, I don't want a tiny paper cup of
I want
Pepsi,
that whole
Sharon.
2-liter, damn it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine actually buying a 2 liter now for the sake of like I need to drink this whole thing.
No. No, I don't drink any pop, so that would be pure. And I probably would be sick from that.
I think part of the reason you probably see them less is because when we were growing up, your options, your mode of transport
pop or water.
Well, your mode of
that's
transport
true.
was a 2 liter or 12 ounce cans. You know, those were your options.
Right.
And now you have
20 ounce bottles were becoming more popular. You know,
20 ounce bottles. Yes, you had the cans, 20 ounce bottles, and then the 2 liter. Where now you get those little tiny cans. You can get those. You know,
right?
Like the 8 ounce cans or whatever. So you got that. I guess that's all I was going with that. Is you have smaller sizes, but I don't know if that actually negates what I was. I don't know if that's a valid point.
If it supports or
I don't think
it doesn't really
support my argument.
Right. It doesn't really unsupport your argument. It just doesn't.
No, it wasn't the smoking gun I was hoping for, though. Felt like I was onto something until I really talked it through.
Well, and then I just wonder if it's just the shift away from pop.
Well, and that's
generally speaking,
got to be a part of it, right?
Where it's just like, we just don't need 2 liter. You know, I want to say gallons. Obviously,
a half
measuring in
gallon,
liters, it's not a gallon, but it's just like we don't just need gallons and gallons of pop guzzling around. Like people are just like less apt to want giant containers of like sugar water.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's drastically changed in the last 25 years. That people are like, this is just sugar
you
water.
can say without a doubt options exist now. Back then it was your options were.
That's where I thought you're going, like, because that's what I think. Like back then it was like pop or water or maybe like dairy milk.
Right. Or I mean maybe a juice box, but also I don't know.
It's probably like shitty sugar juice.
Yeah,
like there was like
just basically
like juice from
uncarbonated
concentrate.
pop.
Yeah. Right. And now there's just an infinite.
Now every third grader's birthday party, they just give them a bunch of hot LaCroix, and the kids are so excited.
Bust out the spicy waters.
Yeah, they're just going crazy.
Has your son ever had a sparkling water? Like, she's probably had a sip of one or something
sparkling
like that.
water. And I'm trying to think if he's ever even had like soda of any kind. Usually, what we tell him is, because he knows my wife always makes coffee like the first thing she does when she wakes up.
Oh, then everything's coffee.
And so we just tell him it's coffee. He's like, I don't like coffee. So he doesn't even attempt it. No, he's had though. Now that I think about it, he's had sips of like Sierra Mist or Sprite or Star, whatever it is now. I don't think he's ever tasted Coke or anything like that before, though.
My little kids have barely had pop. Like, I'm sure they definitely have like a little bit before, but not really.
There's already enough food that's always thrown their way that contains so much sugar that they don't need to also consume sugar in a liquid form.
That's the thing about pop, is right?
Dude, when my kid wakes up, it's just like his goal in life is he wakes up and he's like, all right, how can I consume sugar today? He's just on the prowl.
Give me chocolate granola bars now.
He's just on the prowl for chocolate for candy at all times. It's nuts how that just is like his driving force in life right now is where can I find sugar? And he goes to some pretty intense lengths to track it down too.
Yeah. You know what was really funny? Because we talked about it last week and someone made the meme where it's like, why is my sister called Rose? It's like, well, because mom loves roses.
Yeah. Okay, crew. And I did laugh pretty hard when I saw that. Yeah.
That meme is like a really, like someone had to have a moment of inspiration on that meme.
That was good. That
was a good meme.
I thought it was really good too. I was impressed. That one did slap.
Yeah. That was good.
One other one before we forget on the soda, since Jack hadn't seen the tornado bottle.
Yeah.
Is he familiar with the Mentos in a Coke bottle? Has he seen that one?
We've effed with that before, so he does know about that. I personally know
that is the more impressive one.
That's cooler.
Yeah.
That's also something you got to do at school too.
I don't remember seeing that when I was in school. I don't remember seeing that until the internet.
Okay. I think we did that at school maybe too. Maybe I'm wrong. I might just be making that up. I know we did the tornado thing at school. I remember like those sitting
maybe the
around
Mentos thing was at the School of Hard Knocks is where you.
That's true.
That one.
That might have been at business school actually.
Yeah,
They saved that for business school.
Everyone, we were having a lab today in business school. And like, oh, what are we covering? It's just a guy dropping Mentos in a Coke bottle, and they send you home.
When we were little, though, so many people drink so much more pop.
Oh, God.
Or is that just my personal bias? There's people,
I
do
think
people still
did,
drink as much pop? But
energy drinks, I don't remember energy drinks existing until I was in high school. I don't think they came, and even then, your options
I
were
remember in high school
Red Bull.
someone having like NOS.
Yeah,
those
Red
NOS
Bull.
things.
I think NOS was kind of just coming around, but it was really Red Bull, like 1 or 2 flavors of Monster, and what was the Coke one? Is it Full Throttle? Is that theirs?
I don't even know.
There was only a few of those. Where I really remember them hitting is by the time I got to college. That's when I was like, whoa, energy drinks are getting crazy right now.
Yeah. Pop had a good run.
Sure did. You seen what a 12-pack costs these days?
No, I don't even know what it costs any day.
Oh, I remember when I was in high school, I worked at a grocery
like
store.
$4 is what it used to be, or something like $3.99, or
I'm just looking what the current price is. I remember when I worked at a grocery store in high school, they would occasionally have, I could be remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure they would occasionally have deals in the summer. And I think a lot of times it involved a mail-in rebate too, but you could get 4 12-packs for $10. So $2.50 a 12-pack. Like that, I think was a pretty smoking deal, but like it could be done. And like right now I'm looking at Walmart, which is probably, I assume, one of the cheaper places to get it. And Walmart, a 12-pack of Coke, it says is on sale for $6.50.
Really? So they're like 50 cents a piece from the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going to places where you paid 50 cents like for a can of pop.
God, this right here on, maybe it's different in store, but a 24-pack of Coke. You know, the 24, like that wasn't uncommon to see people have a 24-pack.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Coke?
right.
24-pack of
Like
Coke on Walmart.
A pallet of Coke pounders.
It says, oh, maybe they don't even carry it in the store. Either way, this is $25 for a 24-pack.
You know, the other thing that didn't used to exist is those fridge packs that like, I think like that's how everyone buy like all 12 packs now. They're that like,
that long skinny. That's what I
that
only
was
remember.
not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like,
I just remember big 24, like the suitcase, the big
Right.
24, like my mom would get diet caffeine free Coke, which was the worst thing ever. Cause there's no sugar in it and no caffeine. It was just like dirty water. And she'd get 24 packs of that. And
the most
I couldn't drink it.
unappealing colored can. Like,
Yeah,
let's make it
like
like
a kind of a goldish
off
color.
tan. Yeah. Like,
But right here it says maybe, I don't know if it's weird when I look at Walmart.com. It says it's not available for pickup, a 24-pack of Diet Coke, which seems weird.
yeah.
But maybe that's the world we're in now. Maybe they don't sell 24, but maybe it's just 12 packs now.
Well, maybe that's okay. But so okay. So it is quite a bit more expensive than what I thought. And I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or if this was a conversation that I had with someone else, but I really don't know. Like if you asked me like how much does a candy bar cost in a convenience store, I was like, I don't know. And I think this is a conversation I had with my wife, and I'm like, well, I know when I was little, it was always 50 cents. Like back when I was still in the business of buying like candy bars.
Was it that cheap?
Yeah, you
actually?
go somewhere and it was like if you went to our bar or our hometown bar or places like that, like candy bars were 50 cents.
See, that's cheaper than what I remember.
Okay,
and my guess was going to be, they were always $1. That's what I was going to say is always $1.
No, it was definitely 50 cents for like not a king size, just
a candy bar. And I could see how at some places, like I for sure know at some places you could get them for 75 cents. But when I think of walking in a gas station, I always just think in my mind $1.
Okay,
you could get something for $1. That's what sticks out in my mind.
Okay. But and then like they're quite a bit more expensive than that now, aren't they? Is a candy bar like if you go to a convenience store, how much does a candy bar cost? Is it like over $2?
Probably. I don't know. I'm just because I have Walmart pulled up. A regular Snickers bar at Walmart is $1.32, which makes you think if it's $1.32 at Walmart, that it probably is more than that at a gas station.
Yeah, so like if you went and got a 20-ounce bottle of pop and a candy bar at a gas station, is that going to be like $5?
So say bust out a 5.
Okay. In this economy?
Yeah, try it.
I can't afford to eat junk food.
Hell no.
That's all I've got to say about that.
All right. Well, a lot of
That's
reminiscing
all I've
there.
got to say about that. Okay. Anything else we need to touch on this week?
I'll say really quickly, I'm still trying my best to be a movie guy.
What recent movies have you digested?
I watched the Mario movie on Netflix.
Oh, I watched that too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's like the one movie I've watched in the last month.
I thought they did a great job. I'm not a Nintendo like mega junkie by any means these days. You know, I grew up with it like most people our age probably did. And I thought they did a great job of tying in the nostalgia of Mario games, and not just Mario, but like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and all the different worlds that existed. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was good. And my boy thought the movie was awesome. He'd never even heard of Mario and he liked it. So if you can keep a 3-year-old entertained too, and me, I feel like that's a win.
Yeah. I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I really liked the Mario 1, Mario 2, and Mario 3 references.
Yes.
Like those were my favorite parts.
Yep.
And I thought it was good. The who was Mario?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, and wasn't there somebody else in there that was
This Always Sunny Charlie.
Yeah. Who is he?
He was Luigi.
He was Luigi. Okay.
And then
yeah.
did you know Jack Black was Bowser?
Yeah, I figured that out.
Yeah, when he was
At
singing,
one
I'm
point in
like,
time,
this
I was
has
like,
to
who the
be
hell
him when he's singing.
Right.
When he
I
talks, they
figured
have
that
enough effects going on or something that it was hard to tell. And then Donkey Kong's dad was Fred Armisen, because I was listening to that one and I'm thinking, this voice sounds very familiar.
Okay.
And then in the credits, I saw Fred Armisen. So that
okay, that makes sense. One other, since this comes out on Christmas, have you ever seen Angels with Filthy Souls?
is that the Home Alone?
Yes. So
Is that actually a movie
it,
though, or not?
It is not.
Okay.
Which I did not realize that.
See,
I thought it was.
And
a
I didn't
movie.
either. And I saw that just the other day, and I didn't know if that was a meme, like it was some dumb joke people were doing, or if it was really not a movie.
That was not a movie. That
Oh.
was made. That scene was made for Home Alone.
Really?
And I never knew that. But then when we were watching Home Alone 2, and they do a different scene of like the same movie or whatever, and it looked more fake. Like in Home Alone 1, that scene, I'm like, that scene always seemed just like a real old movie to me.
It just looks like a black
and what
and
they
white.
did in Home Alone 2, they almost like went too far with this scene from this movie, and I'm like,
okay.
what is like this was like what a weird coincidence, like how would they have this scene also in that movie? And that's what got me looking up. I'm like, and then I was like, what the hell movie is this actually? Like, it's not like, what is this? And then I Googled it and found that.
I always thought it was an actual old movie. I didn't I didn't know that it was fake. Yeah.
It is not a real movie.
Kind of feels like you've had a major part of your childhood, you're lied to about.
Well, isn't it odd though that nobody like, have you ever talked to anyone that's thought about like nobody's ever knew what that movie was? Like what?
No, I mean, kind of, but also, do you know a lot of people that have an extensive black and white movie knowledge?
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just seems like it would have come up at some point. You'd be like someone would have been like, oh yeah, that's from some movie, like nobody knows ever once.
What's the movie with Cheeks and Boney Bob and Lil Mo with the gimpy leg? What movie is that? It's not real.
He was smooching with all of them. He's got the tell the count of 3 or whatever he says.
Yeah.
1, 2, 10.
Yeah. The count of 10. Yeah.
You know what I don't understand? All the times he's played that back in order to trick people. Since when did a television speaker in 1990 sound like an actual gun being shot off?
And not just some shitty echoey thing inside this big old box.
Like, I'm pretty sure if, you've got a really nice TV, if you played that.
Oh, no. Yeah,
and I'd be like, oh, there's not you're not tricking me into thinking there's a gun being shot here. Like, I know that that's coming from a TV.
Yeah, you'd have to have extra. But if he had, if I didn't look, I haven't paid that close attention to the scene. If he had some type of home theater system, then he could maybe trick them. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if people know, but guns are really, really loud. Yeah. And if you shot one off inside a building.
They don't know how to stop a kid, so I'm assuming they don't know if guns are dangerous or not.
No, I'm sticking to this one.
Also,
this one part is where the whole thing
The other day on
unravels
TV, they had Home Alone 3, which is not, basically doesn't belong in the canon of Home Alone. And I'm just watching the things he's doing, and I'm sure this would apply to Home Alone 1 and 2. It's just been a little while, probably a year or two since I've seen those ones. Like the number of times he's just committing murder. Like you are just if this isn't a movie and you did these things, these people are just dead over and over and over again. You're just murdering people. You're a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, like just one of the things they probably could have died. Yeah. Also, like the time it would take to prepare the houses the way he does.
God, yeah.
Like in the movie, it just shows up whipping out this plan. He does this blueprint plan. I'm like, just for a kid to draw that would have taken. I've seen my kids color before. That would have taken half a day.
Well,
and
first of all, they would have
pissed off about the crayons.
They wouldn't have found a paper that big, and then if they did, they would have gotten distracted 30 times on it. And,
Keith brought up a point that I overlooked in the Home Alone 1. He uses firecrackers in the pot.
It's in
Home Alone 2, though, when he's in the hotel, I don't think there's any firecrackers, and he's playing that again. And it's the concierge. I don't know what
Rob Schneider.
With Rob Schneider, and they die. They go running and sprinting out of the room and diving onto the ground and ducking for cover. So in the one, he's right. In 2, no. Yeah, you're right though. Like they would have died from multiple of those.
So many of them. Yeah, this child got left behind, and then he went on a murder spree.
Also, what are those things called? Like you train it. You don't train it, but you set up this elaborate thing, and it like cooks you breakfast. In the morning.
Like a
Rube
Goldberg machine.
It's like this kid is like making those. Out of like torches and
he's
strings,
a mastermind.
or even like when he's doing making it look like someone's singing in the shower. I'm like, you know how hard it would be to get something to actually like move by string.
Like if you just
be
told
trying
me,
that, it'd be like you just pull the whole thing over, and it would
If you
wouldn't
told me
wave
right
his
now,
arms.
You have to pull that off and be like, give me a week, and then maybe we'll see.
It's some testing,
not an afternoon.
Yes. That's interesting. He says the mom was only 37 years old in Home Alone 1.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of how everyone looks older in stuff when you go back and look at it.
Yeah, right. That's so true, isn't it?
It is.
I turned 37 in a month.
You could be leaving Kevin in an airport.
Right.
That's just a weird phenomenon that goes on. There's a YouTube channel called Vsauce. He's a pretty big guy, and he had a video a while ago talking about how older people look older. Well, one of the examples he uses is go watch Cheers and how old everyone looks there.
Right.
And you know how old the character, I've never watched Cheers, but you know how old those characters are supposed to be in Cheers?
Well, Woody Harrelson's probably like freaking 20 also. Like he's like probably, and he's extremely
he has like
there.
no hair, and the way their clothes and everything, they look. But Kelsey Grammer was 27 in the first season, it says. Like these guys are in their 20s. And even then, they all look so old, and you're like, "What the hell?"
What is it? Danson?
See, I've never watched
Ted Danson.
Yeah,
Ted Danson. Like,
yeah.
Frasier confused with Tony Danza.
It says this says Frasier Crane. It says he was 29 in the first season.
That's insane. Like, but Frasier Crane is always like 55 to me in my mind, or 50 or 45. Like. He never exists as any age younger than that to me when I think about it.
And then do you know
Frasier, just an unwatchable show in my eyes.
I could never watch a single episode of my life. Like Norm is the other one. He just looks kind of like a fat guy with like this tight
What do they say? How old is Norm in the early ones?
Norm in the first season, he is 34 years old. And it's like, that's how old I am.
34, yeah, right.
So just things like that where the point of the video was, at that point in time.
Cliff Clavin, what do they say he is? Because he's an old gray hair. He's from Toy Story. Which voice actor is he in Toy Story? Is he the pig? I think he's the pig.
Okay. Cliff Clavin is. I don't know any of these characters. So he's the post office
he's the
guy.
Mailman. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know the post office guy, mailman. There's the term for it. I'm just had to look at his picture here. He looks very old. The first season of Cheers. Do you have a guess on his age?
I I don't know. They say something ridiculous. Like he looks like he's 45.
He's
but like
35 in the first season.
I thought you were gonna say something like he's 29. I'm like, no, he's not 29.
No. So yeah, Norm's 34. Cliff Clavin's 35. I didn't know any of these guys' names. This is funny saying this even. Yeah, it's
Cheers is a good show though.
See, I've never watched an episode of my life.
Cheers is good.
The main bartender guy, Sam Malone.
Yeah, Sam Mayday Malone. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he was also 35. So pretty much all of them were in their mid 30s for the most part.
Right. They're all younger than me right now, like every single one of them.
Except for Woody Harrelson.
Like he was 50.
Woody Harrelson, it says 24 when he was on that show.
Yeah, I know he was really young when he was on there, so that didn't surprise me. But Frasier, though, just a horrific show. Spinoff.
Ryan likes to talk. I can't actually decide if he likes it in an ironic way just to be dumb or if he actually likes it, but he does.
I'd have to rewatch it to be fair, but I just know that I hated it.
But so everyone intro? Looks so old. But the point I was gonna say, the point of that video that I watched, though, the Vsauce one where he talks about it, he just says a lot of it is styles change over time,
right?
And then also the other thing they said is, as the world has gone on, the one constant is that fashion continually gets more casual as time goes on and on and on.
Right.
And so there was this video, or there was a photo, I think from the 50s, that everyone claimed there was a time traveler in. And the guy did. He looked like he came from 2005.
Yeah.
And he's like, really what it comes down to is everyone in this is wearing their 50s
shirt and tie,
and they're outside at this thing, and everyone has their jacket on and their little fedora hat and all that. And this guy just has Wayfair sunglasses and a cardigan on, and it sort of just looks like a guy that's just chilling like you would see today.
Right.
And it's no, it's just he looks so casual that he looks completely out of place in that time. And yeah, the world does get more casual.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I could see that making sense too. Do you know? Would you recognize the opening credit song to Frasier?
Yeah, I would.
What is that song called? Is that was that a song prior?
Those bacon and scrambled.
It's tossed salad and scrambled.
That's what Ryan likes to sing that one. Just be dumb and sing that one. Yeah.
It's terrible.
I always remember as a kid though. What network was that on? I feel like I'd be watching a show and then that would come on. I'm like, oh God, this song's on. That's my cue to change the channel. Go find something I can watch.
I don't know, probably TBS.
Yeah, something like that.
NBC, yeah, NBC. I think that's what it aired on originally, at least. Yeah. There's a tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Cheers. Conversely. Great show, great opening tune also.
Yeah, that one is pretty iconic for not knowing the show. I do know that theme song.
Frasier can suck my ass. Frasier is not a good show. Cheers is so much better than I guess the humor's lost on me. Not sure.
I've just never really seen one, so I can't even comment, but I'm assuming they suck.
I really would need to try one again since I haven't probably in 20 years.
But it's really well, is that if you're gonna try one, is that where you want to start though? If you're gonna try a show,
no.
It's okay, you know what? You come back, you're like, you know what? Okay, I got news for you. I didn't finish The Wire, but I did finish Frasier. I'd be like, really? You could have watched any TV show and you picked to finish Frasier?
What's that other NBC show around that same era, maybe slightly newer?
2.5 Men.
No. There's a really gay guy on it.
Oh, Will and Grace?
Yeah, Will and Grace.
Yeah, I've never seen
I would
that
also rather take a sharp stick to the eye than watch that show.
See, I've never seen any of these shows. The other one that was really big was Everybody Loves Raymond. That I remember thinking that show was huge. And I remember my parents watching it. I've basically never seen it either.
That show's not that bad. I guess Ray Romano is maybe an acquired taste as his grumpy frog, the way he is. I would much rather watch that than Will and Grace or Frasier. Maybe I just didn't like NBC
though.
programming.
I didn't like any sitcoms. That's my thing. I didn't watch any of these. I couldn't stand sitcoms.
Ray Romano, it's always like his wife won't have sex with him. Like that's
Oh, is
always
that what
like his kind of.
I
Like
just remember his brother with the deep voice coming in and like saying something, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's the wacky comic relief now."
Yeah. I don't mind that show, although it's not a great show, but I could stomach it. Should we end on 90s sitcoms?
I suppose we've covered everything there is to on that one.
Okay. No other 90s sitcoms you want to?
Well, I didn't watch any of them, so I'm talking about all of them from a distance.
But did you watch Home Improvement though?
Very occasionally.
That was almost like a more kid.
Yeah, because it was so goofy. That's what I always remember. Like, I liked it when Tim Allen's being goofy, and then they'd try to mix in some family values segment on it where they're trying to teach us some lesson. I'm like, I'm checked out. This is stupid.
Thomas did something naughty.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't care about this part. I want to see
Tim Allen went, oh, more power.
And then I do like break something with a power tool. It's like that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I want to see that stuff.
Yeah, and Pamela Anderson was on the show.
She was occasionally, wasn't she? Yeah, I forgot about
she was in the early ones, I think. She was the Tool Time lady. All right. Tommy, where do they find you at?
Find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.